1943. The world is at war. In Quebec City, Canada hosts a secret meeting known as the Quebec Conference. There, Allied leaders discuss the strategy for the invasion of France. The planning that would eventually lead to D-Day is underway. A few days before the conference, Churchill arrives in Canada and meets several times with Mackenzie King. During his visit, he is driven along the Niagara River Parkway. Surrounded by the river, gardens, and countryside, he is so taken by its beauty that he later describes it as the prettiest Sunday afternoon drive in the world. More than 80 years later, I'm setting out to see whether he was right. Since it was a beautiful Sunday morning, I decided to explore the route on my Kawasaki and experience its beauty in what I believe is its purest form. In a car, it can feel as though you're watching a movie through a window, but on a motorcycle, you're part of the scene itself. You feel the cool air coming off the river, catch the scent of the gardens and the vineyards, and notice the subtle changes in landscape that might otherwise pass unnoticed. If Churchill thought this was the prettiest Sunday afternoon drive in the world, I wanted to find out what it felt like from the saddle of a motorcycle. To make the journey even more enjoyable, a few mates came along in a silver 2011 Subaru WRX. I've long had an affection for boxer engines. This may be because I learned to fly behind the Lycoming 0320, or because I spend an unhealthy amount of time admiring Porsche 911s and BMW R9Ts. Whatever the reason, there's something special about the boxer configuration. The way the engine rocks gently from side to side on startup, the distinctive exhaust note, and the character that comes from those horizontally opposed pistons make them instantly memorable. So having a Subaru Boxer accompanying my Kawasaki twin along the Niagara Parkway felt entirely appropriate. We initially rode past vineyards, farmers' fields, and some remarkably handsome estates before stopping at a winery. Officially, this was to responsibly sample a very small quantity of the local produce. In reality, it was because both the Kawasaki and the Subaru looked rather good parked amongst the vines, and it would have been rude not to take any pictures. From Fort George, we turned south and followed the river. Here, the Niagara Parkway becomes a lazy ribbon of asphalt, meandering alongside the water as though it had given up any ambition of finding a quicker route. It simply yields to the river, matching each curve and contour, content to let the landscape decide where the journey should go. Soon enough, the river reached the falls themselves. As we rode past, I could feel the mist on my face from the water below, though I'm not sure the lads in the Subi could. Further south, we passed some stunning historic buildings from the early days of hydroelectric power on the Niagara River. Among them was Tesla's power station. Upstream of the falls, the traffic began to thin and the road opened up. With fewer tourists and traffic lights to contend with, both machines were finally able to stretch their legs a little bit. Soon, however, the Subi began to show a few niggles of its own, and we pulled over to investigate. A flashing check engine light revealed a misfire on cylinder 1. What's up?
So after he did the pull behind the Corvette, he got a check engine light.
Oh, really? Not wanting to risk further damage, my mates decided to head home and sort out the Subaru's misfire. That left me to continue alone. I carried on to Mather Arch, stopping for a few photographs before turning north for home. Partway back, my phone rang. The Subaru had deteriorated further and was now awaiting a tow truck not far from where we had parted ways. So I rode home, parked the Kawi, climbed into the Mazda and headed back to rescue my stranded companions. Churchill was absolutely right about the Niagara Parkway. It may well be the prettiest Sunday afternoon drive in the world. I suspect, however, that he hadn't accounted for a misfiring Subaru Boxer.